15 years ago, I was diagnosed as Parkinson's, but I probably had Parkinson's for a number of years before that, as is normally the case. Because when I was actually diagnosed, I'd been suffering from the symptoms for 2 or 3 years. It's very difficult for somebody to understand the feeling that you have that goes through your mind when someone says Parkinson's. Why? Because it's like an atomic bomb blowing up in the middle of your life. I didn't really understand Parkinson's, but I knew it wasn't a good thing. And I went back, my wife wasn't with me, I went back home and my wife said, "How did it go with the neurologist?" And I said, "Parkinson's." And my wife completely fell apart. I kind of ignored it for a couple of years and tried to pretend that life was normal. But Parkinson doesn't let you forget that it's there. It's progressive. My wife still has trouble accepting, even today, that I have Parkinson's. I guess it was about 4 or 5 years after diagnosis that I started to ask questions, and very penetrating questions like, can I do something which can improve my symptoms? Can I improve my quality of life? Can I change my life and make my life better instead of just losing customers because I was a business consultant? And the answer was yes. So I wrote to 5 of the leading names in the world on Parkinson's. J. Alberts, Becky Farley, Bas Broom, and a couple of others, Michel Hu. And I wrote a very simple email. I want to change the way Parkinson's is treated, and I want to give dignity and respect back to people with Parkinson's. Are you prepared to help me? 4 of those 5 people replied yes. Jay actually replied, "I believe people with Parkinson's deserve dignity and respect. You have my full support." The only person who did not reply, but he did reply by telephone, was Bas. He called me and he said, "I'm Vice President of the World Parkinson Congress. I'm involved in so many projects. My wife already wants to kill me. Give me a reason why I should be involved in a tiny little rehabilitation centre in the Pre-Alps." I said, "Because we're going to try something different." I don't think he fully understood what we were going to try, so he wasn't involved at the beginning. But I met him on Lake Como about 2 years ago, and we talked for quite a long time over breakfast. And he said to me, "I now know why I should have said yes, I want to be involved. Because what you're doing in Boario is changing lives. That tiny centre in the Pre-Alps is changing the way Parkinson's is being seen and treated." And that was perhaps the biggest compliment I've ever had in my life, because that's what we set out to do. Yeah, you can see I get quite emotional about Parkinson's because I strongly believe in what we're doing. I strongly believe that people need to stay physically fit. I strongly believe they need to remain cognitively active. Going and hiding underneath a rock is what Michael Oaken describes as a vortex of apathy. It'll just lead you down into a black hole. So every day I do 1 hour of physiotherapy with the help of one of our physiotherapists, specific to my needs. And I also do a lot of activities cognitively. I run 4 companies. if I'm not cognitively capable, they would remove me as managing director or president. It was strange because a physician recently said to me, "Alex, you got Parkinson's. You got an advanced stage of Parkinson's. 15 years. You really, really should slow down and take time off." I think some neurologists do not understand Parkinson's. It's very difficult to understand Parkinson's unless you've got it. My worst day of the year is Christmas Day. It should be the best day of the year, shouldn't it? Why? Because if I take a computer out, my wife will kill me, and I can't work, and my mind is not focused and stimulated. I'm happiest when I'm here in the centre, or running a tourism business, or being involved in local events like the creation of the statue of Marco Pantani. I love to be involved in projects and constructing and building new alliances and new collaborations. That's how my mind stays active, because I'm continually pushing myself. So my business consulting business was very lucrative, but of course I don't do business consulting anymore. But I mainly did business consulting in setting up foreign affiliate companies for Italian companies, or setting up sales networks. So it occurred to me, with the help of these people who'd offered their help, why didn't we set up a European centre for Parkinson's? Not an Italian centre, because Parkinson has no boundaries. We have people from around the world. We're not even European in that sense. 50% of the people who come here come from abroad. That's a lot. I think European Parkinson Therapy Centre is unique. There's actually a petition on the Parkinson UK forum to create a European Parkinson Therapy Centre in the UK. I signed my name and agreed. But I did also say, I hope you know what the European Parkinson Therapy Centre stands for, because you can't create something unless you know what it stands for. What we stand for is developing care in the community, giving dignity back to people with Parkinson's, showing people with Parkinson's that they're capable of doing much more than they think, helping them to walk better, helping them to have a better posture, helping them to see Parkinson's for what it really is, which is a condition, yes, neurodegenerative, yes, but it's a condition we can live with. And one of the saddest things about Parkinson's is that people with Parkinson's don't know they have a choice. What I mean by that is, we may have Parkinson's, but we're not victims. A victim is someone with no choice. We have a choice. We don't have Alzheimer's. And if we choose to change our lives, because Parkinson's will do that for us anyhow, and we have to adapt our lives, but if we choose how we adapt our lives and we do more of what we enjoy, I love working with people with Parkinson's. I love the stories and the personalities I've met over the years. It's been a roller coaster ride. I'm very, very proud of our staff. I think we put together a team here who genuinely care about people with Parkinson's. The warmth and the professionalism of the team, and with our advisors, is, in my opinion, the key. And our knowledge of Parkinson's it may not come from a textbook. I'm not a neurologist, but it does come from real life experience, and every member of our team knows Parkinson's through knowing me. and they see me every day. They see the trials and tribulations, and I make sure they understand fully the mental state of some of the people who arrive here. Sunday night when they arrive, it's like a funeral. We do an orientation meeting, and it really is like a funeral. No one's laughing. I make a joke, and no one laughs. Well, no one really laughs about my jokes anyhow, because I have an English sense of humour. But on Saturday, that's just 5 days, 6 days later. 6 days later, it's like a party. People arrive with pastries and spumante, a smile, and it lights up the room. It lights up my life to see this change. And the majority of people who come here have that experience, because we take them through the 4 pillars. We take them through our protocol, which basically is aimed at improving physical and psychological approach to Parkinson's, and we use techniques which we've developed with Oxford University, University of Arizona, many universities throughout the world. We are trying to show people that Parkinson's is a different way of life, but it's still a way of life. And I hope to be here in 15 years' time saying exactly the same words I'm saying now. I didn't see any reason why I shouldn't be. It does take courage to live with Parkinson's. It's not always easy, but as I always say in the meetings, I find someone who doesn't have Parkinson's and I ask them a simple question: do you have good days and bad days? And they always reply, yes. I say, strange. I thought only Parkinson's people have bad days. Well, actually, Parkinson people are very lucky. We can blame everything that goes wrong in our life on Parkinson's. Nor people without Parkinson's can't do that. And it is true, most people with Parkinson's do blame everything that goes wrong to their Parkinson's. The truth is, we all have good days and bad days. Yes, our bad days with Parkinson's can be worse, but with courage and commitment and focus, you can make a massive impact on other people's lives, or you can have a massive impact on your own life. Yeah, I think the greatest achievement of UPath is the Saturday morning, seeing the faces of the people who leave here, and then they come back and they bring their friends, and to see people taking back their lives. There was one gentleman from Scotland. He had a pub, which is a bar in English, in Italian, and he went back to Scotland and he sold his bar. And he called me and he said, I'm off to New Zealand for 6 months. I said, Patrick, why? He said, well, Alex, you're the one who told me I should go to New Zealand. I said, I never told you. I never told you to go to New Zealand. He said, no, you told me to live my dreams, that Parkinson should not stop me, and I've always wanted to see New Zealand. And he did. He went 6 months to New Zealand. 6 months later, I got a postcard from San Francisco, and Patrick had written on it, I forgot to mention San Francisco. Today he has a bed and breakfast down in Cornwall, comes back every year. These people have changed their lives radically. We're not looking for everyone to completely throw in their jobs and their lives, but we are looking for people to find themselves. Sounds strange. Do you know the highest rate of suicide in the world is, as a percentage of the population, is amongst 16 to 18 year olds. I was amazed when when I heard this, and we actually do a program for schools. We have whole of the Lombardy region, we're doing a program which is sponsored by the government, which we use our protocol for Parkinson's. Ironic that, isn't it? Why? Because a lot of the things that 16, 18-year-olds suffer from, lack of interest, lack of self-identity, vergogna, embarrassment, many of these things are the same as Parkinson's. So we use the same protocol with massively successful results. I think there are other things which make me very, very pleased. The success of our book, the success of the film we made. We won the Social Short Film Festival. But particularly our collaboration. I don't know if you can call that a success. It's more of a result of our willingness to collaborate, and also our deep desire to bring together a world coalition. Parkinson must be fought across the world, and PD Avengers, which was set up after the book Ending Parkinson's with Bass, Steve, Michael and Ray Dorsley, is a fantastic program, and PD Avengers is a way of bringing people together, and we are helping them with the communication. We're the only company in Italy, or only people in Italy, who've been asked to join PD Avengers at the beginning. So that makes me very pleased. We're working with great people like Melissa from PD Warriors, the managing director of Parkinson UK, Steve Ford, his personal friend, Bass, of course, and Cure Parkinson's Trust, many great EPDA, European Parkinson's Disease Association. And this collaboration is what's needed. Why? Because I think the biggest success we can have, and we haven't had it yet, one is to train people in our techniques and make hospitals and physiotherapists and doctors more patient aware, which we're doing in our new centre, which has just been built. But our main objective is an embarrassment. 56 years of living with levodopa. Levodopa was discovered in 1910. It's the frontline medicine for Parkinson's. That is just an embarrassment. And I think the whole world should be embarrassed by that. Parkinson's is a pandemic. In 20 years' time, the number of people with Parkinson's will double. The cost of Parkinson's and mental illness is 50% of the European budget for health. And that's going to just skyrocket. And Parkinson's is part of the reasons. So our frontline drug is not a drug at all. It doesn't improve my Parkinson's. All it does is cover up the cracks. If you take too much levodopa over too much time, you actually end up with serious side effects. So you're not having problems. You have to take drugs to offset the side effects of the drugs you're taking. It's ridiculous. Okay, I also like to be involved outside of the European Parkinson Therapy Centre because I love this area of Italy. I think it's spectacular, and one of the reasons that so many people come back is also because it's beautiful. You've got 4 lakes, a ski resort 20 minutes up the road. Not bad, huh? So I started a tourism company bringing 42 groups last year to the valley and also to other parts of Italy, to Sicily. We do a lovely trip to Sicily, which I normally go down and join because it's so fantastic. And being involved in owning a tour company gives me an outlet for, in my imagination, making up new trips, designing new itineraries, being involved with wonderful people in the UK. Our partners in the UK are remarkable. And it also gives me a chance to travel and to see other things. How I fit that into my day, I haven't a clue. I guess I do it in my sleep. I will take 2 or 3 days off sometimes, and we've got a very, very capable team here now. They don't need me. Well, perhaps they do, particularly when we're talking about Parkinson's. But I can take time off, and being involved in tourism is an outlet for me to meet new people, not only people with Parkinson's, have an experience and show people something which is hidden. Very similar to Parkinson's. We're showing people that Parkinson's is not what you think it is, and this part of Italy is not being discovered yet. Well, the Dutch have discovered it, but not the Germans, fortunately. And they wake up in the morning, see the mountains, see the lake. It's spectacular. And I always say, you're so lucky. You go back to England. I actually have to live here. And no, it's beautiful. It's just a joy. It's sometimes very difficult to forget about Parkinson's. 15 years of Parkinson's, there are moments when Parkinson's knocks on your door and says, don't forget about me. In the evenings, if I go off my medicines, I literally have to crawl up the stairs to bed. I joke it's not. Sometimes I'll go out onto the terrace and I'll literally cry about what I'm doing to my family. It's not my fault, of course not. And I can tell you something, I will never ever give up fighting Parkinson's and living with Parkinson's. But my family has been affected. And I think that's the saddest thing. And that's the way Parkinson reminds me when I see my family being affected. Personally, what makes me forget about Parkinson's is getting involved in helping people with Parkinson's and trying to come up with new ideas and new ways, like Parkinson News Network, which is a massive new program which has brought together associations, national associations and local associations across Italy, united together under one flag, not under the European Parkinson flag. It's called Parkinson News Network. It's run by actually a magazine company. But bringing the people together, working with people, having new ideas and seeing the faces of people with Parkinson's change helps me forget my Parkinson's. I think the best moment of the day, it's difficult to find because it's certainly not when I get out of bed in the morning, because it takes me an hour to put my socks on, partly because I can't reach my feet because I'm so rigid until the pills kick in. It's not late at night because that can be a bit rough especially if I'm tired. I guess it's the morning. The morning is when we do most of the physical activity, and this centre is normally filled with people, not in COVID because of distancing, but normally we have a large number of people, and everyone is doing their own individual work. Parkinson's is an individual and personal condition, and they're all following their own roads. And I love the mornings because there's so much activity, there's so many people to talk to, and there are people already beginning to smile. And we have a lady who comes here every 6 months, and I always say to her, she's my ray of sunshine. She comes in the morning with a great big smile. Even on the first day, she lives with Parkinson very well. And she sees everything in a positive way. And I think the mornings are particularly good. The afternoons can be more difficult for people with Parkinson's. And that's the same for me. A little bit more rough on the medicine side, but yeah, I'd say every day is special. Every day is different, and that's a wonderful thing, because you meet so many people, so many different people, and there's so many stories, and we're constantly updating our protocols, we're constantly building new ventures, new collaborations, international and national. I think the best time of the day is what you make it. It seriously is what you make it. We don't set small goals. Our objective is to transform the way Parkinson's is treated across Europe and the way Parkinson's is seen. We do not believe in hospital treatment. We're strongly against it. Hospitals are for sick people. And going to hospital is pretty depressing, actually. Most people have to go to hospital to see their neurologist, and I think that is unfortunate. We believe in developing care in the community, local hubs, speech therapists, occupational therapists, neurologists, nurses, Parkinson nurses, who are in the community, and they can choose who they want to see, and either they come to them or they go to a local centre like this one. This is the multidisciplinary centre which deals with Parkinson's at 360 degrees, every aspect of Parkinson's, and it's done in a way which gives dignity to the client, I repeat, client, partnership, because we're in this together, and it also gives massive cost savings, and I'm amazed the government hasn't worked that out. We're not paid €1 by the government, so we're not a cost, but we're probably saving the government millions of euros, because a lot of people leave here and they go back into work and start paying taxes. Many people leave here and they take less medicines because they're exercising more. I think our goal is to set up multidisciplinary centres, care in the community, create dignity, take away the capital P from Parkinson's, take it off its pedestal and turn it into James. What I mean by that is Parkinson was named after James Parkinson. Unfortunately, the French doctor 40 years later who did the research on Parkinson's decided to use the name Parkinson's. I wish he'd used the name James, because I'd love to have had, 15 years ago, a neurologist say to me, "I'm sorry, you've got some James." That wouldn't have upset me as much. Parkinson has picked up a lot of baggage, a lot of misconceptions, and it's not a nice word. It is absolutely essential that people talk about their Parkinson's, are open about it. Why shouldn't we? And that's a serious question, because a lot of people are embarrassed. I was in a queue in a supermarket, and a lady behind, I was going off medicine, so I was a bit slow. And the lady behind me went, "Idiot." And that happens quite a lot to me and to others. A lot of people with Parkinson's will turn around to the lady and say, sorry, their symptoms will increase, and they'll go home and they'll think twice about before going out again. It's not nice to be treated like that. It's a true story. I actually turned around to the lady and said, my problem is I live with Parkinson's. What's your problem? And that's the truth. My problem is I live with Parkinson's, and I think I do quite a good job of it. I don't need anyone else's problem. If someone has a problem with my Parkinson's, it's their problem. And I think the more we are strong and we don't feel that we have to apologise for having Parkinson's. We don't feel, I'd love that day to arrive when perhaps when Parkinson's is seen for what it is, a condition which you can live with, and people who live with Parkinson, I think, should be highly respected. I know I respect nearly every single one of our clients who come here, because they go home with a courage and determination which I don't see in people without Parkinson's. Parkinson's can bring out the best of us. Ironic, but true. We actually helped Parkinson UK set up their newly diagnosed program. Steve Ford said about 6 years ago that he wanted to reach every single person newly diagnosed at the point of diagnosis. That's when the neurologist says, I'm sorry, you've got Parkinson's. We've done that. We set up a program. We went to see Steve, and we set up a program with them called First Steps. Every single person in the UK at the moment of being diagnosed are also given an invitation to go to a course which uses our last two pillars. The course was originally designed by us, has been adapted by Parkinson UK. Research done by Oxford University has shown this course to have a massive impact. In other words, those who took the course after 6 years were more likely to still be working, taking less medicine, doing exercise, and having a much better quality of life. And I think my advice to anyone who's newly diagnosed is seek help, not on the internet, but from people who know Parkinson's and who can really help you. Parkinson UK is one example, but most national associations are very good. European Parkinson Therapy Centre is always here to help anyone who needs help. We even run Saturday open days when people can come free of charge and just chat to us. Don't hide. Don't run away from it. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. It's rather like putting a gorilla in your bedroom closet. The gorilla is not going to stay in that closet. Parkinson will show itself, and you should be ready. So the time to start getting ready is the moment you're diagnosed. So don't think you've got a couple of years of free time. I would start immediately learning what the traps. There's some big traps you can fall into with Parkinson's, and we teach people about that here. Learn about the traps, learn about maintaining your posture, learn about the truth about Parkinson's, that you can live with Parkinson's and you will not be in a wheelchair when you're 20 years old. Let me just expel that myth. You can have a great life if you want it, but the truth of the matter is you must decide. It's your choice. We're not victims.
Thanks. Stop.